Hey, Nadia. I just came back from my 2 years of being overseas for work, and it seems that somebody went off and got married. Since when were you going out and doing all of that and never planning on telling me?
What? Blair? So you came back to the US then? Are you back for good now, or are you just here for a few weeks or something?
Just for a short bit, but that's not what I want to talk about right now. Answer the question I've asked you.
You want me to tell you about my marriage and how it's been? Well, Blair, as far as I can tell, I haven't gotten married yet. I'm still as single as I was when you left.
I know that you got remarried and are a mother now.
What? I'm remarried and a mother? Blair, what are you going on about?
And what is this about leaving your kid over at our house all the time now when you just had them not too long ago?
What kid are you talking about, Blair?
What the hell do you think you're doing going on vacations like that all the time while leaving your baby at my house with my wife? Are you freaking insane?
Excuse me? Since when have I been leaving any baby over at your house with Carson?
I'm sure the reason you thought you could get away with it is because she's a housewife and has all this time on her hands, right? But that does not mean you could just use her as your babysitter. And you haven't even been coming over to drop your kid off either. Instead, having one of your friends do it for you every time. I'll tell you right now that I never expected to hear such BS going on in my household ever, because my house is not your baby's freaking daycare. Get over to my house right now.
I can't right now. I'm out of town on a trip.
Huh? So you've gone and done it again, leaving your kid in my wife's hands while you run off to have some more fun? Where did you go this time, huh? Are you out having an affair or something now?
Calm the hell down, Blair. Dang it, guy, you're starting to piss me off now.
Do you think I can freaking calm down right now? My own wife has been getting harassed by my older sister and her baby.
I have never had a baby before.
Huh?
Listen, asshole, I have never had a baby. And by the frickin' way, this is my 12th year now of not being in any serious relationships.
Wait, really?
I am so frickin' sorry that I'm not good enough for any men anymore. Now, would you cut that crap and stop making such stupid jokes about me? I am actually going to block you if you keep that up.
Then you being on that trip is...
I am on vacation with Mom for her birthday. Her and I came to this beautiful resort to relax and enjoy the spa. So you have a problem with us being here?
Now that you mention it, Mom's birthday. And it'll be next Tuesday, right?
That's right. And since both Mom and I have jobs during the week, we decided it would be best to take this trip during a long weekend. Dad is back at home taking care of things while we're gone, and if you'd like, you can call him right now and he'll say that to you.
Okay.
All right, so do we have a freaking problem here?
No, we don't.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Then we can stop talking now. Right now, I'm going to get into the hot tub with Mom so that we can relax before starting our day.
Wait. I wasn't lying about my wife having a baby with her right now.
What?
So far, her and I haven't been trying to have a baby or anything. And you should even understand that since I've been away for 2 years now.
Fair point. And one of you would have said something if you were trying for a kid. Also, I've seen Carson a few times while you've been out of the US, and she never seemed to be pregnant.
Right? I was shocked by the fact that she was having to care for this baby, so I asked where he came from. She told me for the past month and a half now, you've been having one of your friends bring your baby over and dropping them off with Carson.
What the hell?
I get that it's not your baby now, but the fact that there is this random baby in our house who has been under my wife's care for the past month and a half is concerning me.
I see.
Please, help me figure all of this out. I have no idea what happened here while I was gone, and now I'm starting to panic. Just tell me something. Is there anything you can remember that would tie into this?
I just asked Mom about it all as well, but she told me she hasn't really seen Carson for over a year now and has only ever been able to text and call with her once or twice. The same goes for me, actually. The last time I saw her was around 9 months ago, and that was out in public. Your guys' house is about an hour away from us, so It's rare for me to see her unless we make plans, which we haven't been.
That makes sense. All right.
Let me ask you this. Before you came back home, did you say anything to Carson about it?
No. I plan on this to be a surprise for her. And so I never even hinted at the fact that I'd be back in the States and coming home. So when I came into the house to surprise her...
There was a baby with her that you've never even seen or heard about before?
That's correct. Honestly, what the hell is going on here? What all caused this to happen? No, wait. I kind of know what it could be. Right now, I actually kind of suspect her of cheating on me, Nadia.
Well, before you start to blame her or anything, you need to make sure you have evidence of that sort of thing. Well, at least now I understand what you were screaming like a bitch for. Today is the last day of our trip, and we'll be checking out this morning after we're done in the hot tub. On our way home, we can swing by your place and see what all is going on with Carson and that baby. How does that sound?
That's fine. I'm sorry for texting you in such an awful manner while you were with Mom.
Well, today's the last day anyway, so you didn't kill too much of my mood. But don't think that I fully forgive you yet for the way you acted. Just, for the time being, calm down. Also, do not do anything that would make Carson think you're catching on to her. Don't question her about anything. Don't yell at her about anything. Don't do anything that would make her feel unsafe around you. We're not sure what happened that led to her having to care for that baby, and for all we know, maybe there is something serious going on with the baby's parents.
Understood.
Nadia, long time no see. I'm sure a little bit ago you got a few texts from your brother about some things. Wow, hi Carson. It's been a long while. I'm really sorry for not talking with you or your mom much this past year. And about this baby, I found out that this baby isn't actually yours, and that kind of shocked me as well. Oh, I see. I was actually just talking with my mom about all of that, and we were thinking it would be a good idea to tell you that it's not mine. Thankfully, someone told you the truth. I heard quite a bit about what's been going on from Blair, but I'm still not fully understanding the situation. Nadia, do you know anything about a girl named Jillian? Jillian? If this is the same Jillian that I'm thinking of, then she was a classmate of mine back in high school. Carson, is that dumbass a friend of yours or something? She was in the same club as me back in middle school, but was 2 years above me, of course. Really? Is that right? Huh. Why are you bringing her name up with me right now? Does this mean... Yeah. The person that came over to our house bringing this problem child with her who said it was yours was Jillian. Are you sure? Pretty much every time she's done this, she makes sure to remind me that you both are really good friends and that I shouldn't bother you about this when you're already aware. She told me that if I did ever say something to you, she'd do the same things she did to me back in my middle school. As a threat. I see. I knew that you of all people wouldn't have. Well, you get what I mean. But Jillian pressured me into taking the baby, and so there was nothing I could do besides act as its mother while she was away. I was going to get in touch with you about this, but I'd been so busy with the baby and everything else that I couldn't. And it's been a few weeks now since the last time I've seen Jillian. Back in high school, Jillian ended up in the same class as me my sophomore year. And, during that year, she just so happened to be really into my little brother, to the point she'd tell me about it in person. She would always come up asking me to introduce her to him and that she'd make my little brother into her boyfriend. It got to the point where she became way too annoying about it. What? So that's the connection you had to her? I guess so. But at the time, Blair had a girlfriend of his own. So one day I told her to F off and that she needed to find some other man her age. And, well, that seemed to have pissed her off a lot and left her with some remaining anger towards me. Then for the rest of my time in high school, she would do so many things to me to make it clear that she hated my guts. It was a pretty bad time. I see now. I wish I could have gotten to you with all this information sooner. I'm sorry. You don't have to apologize to me for anything. What do you plan to do now, though? Good point. Well, Before I say anything about this to Blair, do you mind coming out with me to a hotel near A Station so that we can talk in the lobby? At that old hotel? I plan to stay there tonight, so it would make things easier on me. So you're out of the house right now. All right, I'll see you at that hotel then. I'm sorry for dragging you into this, but thank you for working with me here. Blair, I'm sorry, but I'm going to be a little bit late.
What? Why is that?
The bus that we were going to be taking back home seemed to have broken down, and now we're going to have to wait for someone to fix it. Well, it's already been fixed, but we're only just getting comfortable on it now. We won't be able to ride it all the way back home, but luckily we will be connected to a new bus at a station between here and home. So it'll be about 30 minutes, and then we'll be on that new bus and on our way home. To your home, I mean.
Seriously? All of that had to happen today? Well, I guess we're both having some issues now. I just realized that both Carson and that baby have disappeared.
They disappeared?
I think they have both just gone out to get some fresh air, but she didn't say anything to me about it, and never told me when she'd be back.
I see. Well, she can't be going far if she has that baby with her, so just wait a little while for her to get home, all right? I think she's just gone out for some fresh air, like you said.
All right, then. Guess I'll just think about what you and I are going to do.
Nadia, thank you so much for coming to see me today. Oh, don't worry about it. Thank you for telling me everything you could about your situation and what you've known. I guess tomorrow I'll get started on looking into Jillian and seeing why she's brought you that baby so many times. All right. Once again, I'm sorry for dragging you into this, but thank you for your help.
Nadia, help me. What the heck is going on here?
All right, Blair. What is it this time?
Why are you not getting all worried about me right now? You sound like you don't even care. It's been weeks now and Carson has still not come and she hasn't even said anything. But that friend of yours, Jillian, just came over to my house and she brought that troublesome baby with her. She told me to acknowledge her and to marry her right now.
Oh, I see. Yep, I get it now. So she's begun her plan of attack.
Huh? What the hell? Nadia, do you know something about what she's doing?
Listen, Blair, that baby she has, that's your baby.
What?
And that baby's mother is Jillian.
Wait, that can't be. I've been out of the country for 2 years now and only just got back.
Blair, give that lie up. It's already been seen through. Everything is known about you now. That's why right now things are starting to be set in motion. Do you understand?
What? What the hell?
Blair, while you were overseas for work, you ran into Jillian, right?
No, wait, that's not true.
As it turns out, actually Jillian works for one of the branches of the company you've been working for. And for a little while, she was sent out to the same area you were living, over in Australia, and that's where the both of you met one another. I'm not sure what all happened that led to you both becoming so close, but I am well aware now that you had some private business to attend to with her. After all that happened, Jillian's time was up over there and she had to return to the U.S. before you. However, when she got back here, she found out that she was pregnant. By the time she found out about being pregnant, there wasn't much she could do but have that baby. But she herself has a fiancé, and in order to not have that fiancé find out she had relations with another man overseas and got pregnant from him, she had her baby in secrecy. She also started to look at your social media during that time and found out that the father of her baby so happened to be married to the girl she used to pick on back in middle school. And so she went to her, Carson, and started to force her to take the baby. All of that was stuff I found out during the past 2 weeks. Do you have anything to say about it?
Nadia? No, Carson is
getting a divorce.
What? Like hell she is. I don't want to get a divorce.
You have no right to say no to the divorce after you cheated on her.
But Nadia, Once Jillian turned into an adult, she wasn't that fat whale she once was back in high school. She became so good looking and I just had to get a piece of her. She turned into this woman that every man in the office was wanting.
Guy?
Come on!
Ugh. I never thought my own little brother could say things like that to one of his family members. I am so heartbroken by this that I'd like to cry.
But come on!
But come on this, come on that. How about you shut the hell up for once, Blair? Mom, Dad, and myself are all on Carson's side here.
What? You guys aren't going to help me out here?
Who the hell would want to help a dick like you?
No way. Nadia. Those talks about me getting a promotion have all stopped dead in their tracks.
Huh?
I'm having to pay a settlement to not only Carson in a divorce, but also to Jillian's now ex-fiancé who says that I deserve to rot in hell with Jillian for what I've done. And that led me to losing every last bit of my savings. I don't have anything left, and now the courts are asking for me to borrow money in order to pay the rest of the settlement fees off. The company caught word of what's happened with me, and now they are not only letting those talks about my promotion, but they are also cutting my salary.
I see. Well, from what I remember, the company you work for is a very strict company when it comes to people's ethics, and you've been fairly unethical around your wife.
And it's not just that. My leader told me that he no longer wants me working directly under him, and so the company is having me transfer back overseas, but this time to Colombia. I'll be working at a brand new factory there, and they said it some time before I was allowed to come back to the US. What the hell am I going to do?
You're going to be taking Jillian and your baby with you, all right?
What?
This is what Carson told me. She said that if you and Jillian both get out of this country and move to Colombia together, that she'd be willing to cut the settlement she's asked for in half. So?
What? She couldn't have said that.
And as for myself, Mom, and Dad, the three of us no longer want to help you anymore.
You're going to throw away your little brother you know?
Stop trying to make me feel bad for you after you asked for all of this.
Nadia, no!
Originally, Blair was supposed to be back in the US for a little while after coming back from Australia. But after his wife was forced to take on a random baby, we learned that the baby was his and that he had made it with another woman he had an affair with, which forced him to leave the US again. And with the help of Carson getting her divorce from him and forcing him to pay a massive settlement, Blair chose the other option and took Jillian and the child with him and left. Of course, my mom chewed him out so hard, one could say he was bleeding from his ears before going, and that was the end of him. There was one last thing he needed to do, though, before Carson allowed him to only have to pay half of the settlement, and that was marrying Jillian. And so just before they got on a plane to leave, they were spotted at the courthouse, both crying as they handed in their marriage forms. That was the last time I heard anything from Blair, and the rest of his small family for that matter. Well, thank goodness for that. And I think for Carson, it was so wonderful to finally not have some stranger's baby in her arms 24/7 anymore. However, just as we thought things were finally over with, a couple months later we got one phone call from Colombia, and it was from Blair's new boss. He told us that Blair was having relations with a woman inside his new office, and that Jillian had found out and showed up to teach him a lesson. His boss wanted to ask us if we wanted to come out there to see him in the hospital, but my parents and I told him Blair wasn't related to us. And so the boss said he was sorry for disturbing us and hung up the phone, finally putting an end to things. Ugh.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hey, Carl, are you there? I was just wondering if you and I could talk for a little bit. I don't mind if we're just exchanging text messages, so is now a good time to talk?
Oh, hey Mom. Yeah, I guess that you and I can't talk right now. But I can only text at the moment. Sorry about that. But anyways, I don't have any work tomorrow, so I don't mind if we talk. What is it that you wanted to talk about?
I just wanted to double check with you that Susan wasn't going to go back to her parents' house to have her baby, right?
I don't think that she was going to do anything like that. But do you mind if I ask what makes you think she was going to?
Well, it's just I'm actually staying at a hotel kind of near where Susan's parents live. I'm here for work, but I've been staying here since yesterday. I'm basically just up the street from their house if I've got the one that I'm thinking of. You said that Susan's family owns a lot of cats, right?
Yeah, that's right. I think just about everyone in town knows their house is the one with all the cats out in front of it. And whenever I've gone to go and visit them, I'm always having to watch my step to make sure that I'm not stepping on any tails or anything at all.
I see. Well, the reason I wanted to know all of this was because I'm quite sure that I saw Susan actually stealing a bit of the cat food for herself.
Sorry, what do you mean she was stealing the cat food for herself? I'm not sure I understand.
Well, then how do you think I feel? I was so shocked that I could hardly move. I was going to call out to her, but then I thought better of it. But that was the first time that I'd ever seen a person eat cat food so casually. And anyways, that's why I wanted to know if you had any idea what she might have been doing. Did you know that this was something she does?
Mom, this is all a really wild story and all that, but I already told you that Susan hasn't even gone home. For the past 2 weeks, she's been in the hospital, actually.
Wait, you're telling me that Susan is in the hospital? And she's been there for that long? But what happened?
Well, we were gonna tell you if things got any worse or serious, but Susan's just been really nervous about any complications when it comes to the baby. And she had been feeling extra queasy and uneasy lately, so she decided to check herself into the hospital.
Oh, I see. Well, I don't think that I knew any of that.
Well, it really is okay since now she's basically feeling better. I think she is probably going to be able to leave any day now. But anyways, the hospital with the maternity ward that Susan wants to give birth at is just a 10-minute drive away from our house. So I don't really think that Susan even has a reason. Why should you go all the way to her parents to have the baby?
I see. Well, then if the person I saw eating cat food wasn't actually Susan, I suppose we can say that that is a good thing. But given what else is going on, I just hope that she feels okay and the pregnancy goes along smoothly.
I think everything should be okay. Actually, it's kind of funny considering that Susan's little sister Kathy is also pregnant.
Wait a second, did I meet Kathy at yours and Susan's wedding? You know, I thought that the two of them looked so similar, I was sure that they must have been twins.
Yeah, they do look quite similar. I imagine that you probably are thinking of the right person that you met on my wedding day.
Yeah, but what about Kathy? Are you saying she's gone back home to have her baby?
Yeah, she has gone back to her parents. Although that actually wasn't the original plan for how she wanted to do this.
Oh, really? And what do you mean by that?
Well, Kathy was going to do what Susan is doing and give birth at a hospital. But then, not that long ago, her husband had to leave on some kind of last-minute business trip or something like that. I guess he was going to go abroad for a long time and they didn't know when he was going to be able to come back. So that's when Kathy asked her parents if she could move back in with them. Kathy and her husband even canceled the lease on their apartment. The thing is, though, that Kathy didn't even realize she was pregnant. She had no idea about that until her husband only had about a week up until he had to leave for his assignment.
Oh, wow, that's so much. The poor thing. And finding out that his wife was pregnant so close to his trip still wasn't enough to get her husband out of having to do it? But to go and do something like cancel your own lease, that basically leaves you with no other place to live at all.
I know. But apparently both of her husband's parents have passed away. So really, she only had one place that she could go to live. Of course, Susan did think about reaching out to Kathy and asking if she wanted to come and stay with us for a while. But then all the things with Susan's pregnancy started acting up, and so we agreed to scrap that plan.
And so that's why Kathy ended up having to go all the way back to her parents to have her baby then?
Yeah, pretty much. I know it's a long story, but that's basically what happened. Yeah.
But then, I still feel like I'm not getting the whole picture. Is there something wrong with having to go back to your parents' place to give birth?
Well, the thing is that Susan and Kathy's dad is still around, but their mom isn't. Not only that, but their dad actually ended up marrying a woman in her mid-30s.
Oh, yeah, I think I've heard of something like that when it came to their family. I must have completely forgotten about it until now, though.
Right, well, as I'm sure you might be able to imagine, Kathy and Susan do not get along great with their stepmother. Apparently they tried to meet her a couple of times, and even all lived together before we were married, but it just wasn't working out. Anyways, I wouldn't be surprised if what you say with the cat food might have had something to do with that.
You really think so? Wow, I had no idea that all of this was going on.
Well, if you want, I guess I can try talking to Susan and see if she can't get a hold of Kathy to make sure that everything's okay.
Oh, no, you don't have to go and do something like that for me.
Are you sure? Because it really wouldn't be a big deal at all.
Oh, sorry. Well, that's not what I meant. I just meant that I actually have Kathy's number is all.
Oh, really? You do? I didn't know that you and Kathy had exchanged phone numbers.
I think we must have exchanged our numbers at your wedding, but I don't think we've sent a single message to each other or anything like that.
Great, well, yeah, then I guess if you're worried about Kathy, it might be better for you to reach out to her given that you're both so physically close. But please, let me know if you find anything out. I want to make sure that everything is going okay over there.
Yes, of course. That won't be a problem.
Actually, maybe I'll distract Hillary, their stepmom, so that Kathy doesn't get into any more trouble if something else is going on. Hey there, Hillary. Are you there? This is Susan's husband, Carl. How have you been?
Oh, Carl! It's been ages since I last talked to you. How are you? I have to say, it's quite odd getting a message from you like this.
I know, I'm sorry to be messaging you out of the blue like this, but I just wanted to ask you something. I heard that Susan's sister Kathy ended up going back to your house to give birth. Is that true? The only reason I'm asking is that, well, as Susan's husband, I just think I should be checking on people more from time to time, you know?
Oh, well, aren't you just such a sweet man? I guess that you must be the person who Kathy's texting right now, too, then.
Well, it's just that Susan really isn't feeling well at all, and she asked me to check on you both.
Oh, did she know? Well, isn't that just so thoughtful of her?
Yeah, I thought so. Anyways, how's Kathy doing? Of course, I'm also texting her right now anyways, but I just wanted to know how you think she's doing.
Well, she seems to be always complaining about feeling queasy and stuff like that. I tell her that she needs to be trying to move her body more. I'll give her little errands to do so that she is getting up and moving a bit more throughout the day, but I really don't think that she's doing all that bad.
Oh, I see. Well, that's good to hear. I'm glad that you think Kathy is basically doing fine then.
Carl, are you there? It was much worse than I thought. Kathy is in some serious trouble. We have to get her out of that house and into a hospital right away. Apparently Hillary is still in her room right now, so I need you to help stall just a little longer.
Got it. Hey Hillary, I actually kind of wanted to ask you about something else, if that's okay.
Oh, did you know? Well, what's on your mind? You can ask me whatever you want, you know.
I actually just wanted to let you know that Susan wasn't feeling great with a bunch of pregnancy stuff going on either. She ended up checking herself into a hospital.
Oh, really? Things were that bad? Just what was it that made her want to go and do something like that?
I guess that the pregnancy symptoms were getting to be a bit much for her. She was dizzy and queasy and could barely function. I was actually surprised that things had gotten as bad as they did for her.
I see. And just what did you do to manage that, huh?
Sorry, I'm not sure what you mean. I didn't do anything but take her to the hospital, you know.
That isn't what I'm talking about. Right now, you were trying to tell me that you made your wife's symptoms so bad that she had to go into the hospital, right?
What? No! Of course not. I would never try and do something like that on purpose. She just started feeling ill and it got worse, and so she went to the hospital.
Oh, is that it? Are you sure? Well, okay then.
Yeah, although I'm wondering in light of all that if this makes you change your mind on Kathy at all.
Change my mind about what? What could you possibly be referring to?
Well, okay. The truth is that I've heard from a good source that Kathy might not actually be really happy having to be there at home with you.
And just what is that supposed to mean, huh? What are you getting at, Carl?
I just mean that if Kathy is complaining a lot about what she is feeling right now, then maybe you should try listening to her, right? Don't you think it might be good for you to take her to a hospital too?
Oh, please, don't be so overdramatic. I know that Kathy doesn't want or need that, but you can just reach out and ask her yourself if you don't believe me.
I see. Well, if that's the way that you're going to be about this, then I guess you leave us with no choice. We're going to be taking care of Kathy from now on.
What is that supposed to mean? Carl, what is going on here, huh? Where is Kathy? Why isn't she at home? I know that she can't have gotten very far by herself in her state, so I want to know what kind of trick you're trying to pull.
I'm afraid that's a secret. I can't tell you anything.
Excuse me? Do you think this is some kind of game or something like that?
Actually, let me ask you something. Your husband left for a business trip himself about 2 months ago, isn't that right? And while he was gone, that's when you turned against Kathy. You withheld food from her, verbally abused her, and made her do all kinds of chores for you. You were basically making her your servant while she was pregnant.
Well, I really don't have any idea at all what you're talking about, and I don't think that you do either.
Oh, really? Because I have proof of everything that I'm saying.
Hold on a second, you have proof? Just what do you mean by that?
I take it that you didn't know this since they were installed before you married Susan's father. But he had cameras installed to keep an eye on his cats, and we can see exactly the kind of things you were forcing Kathy to do on them.
What do you mean by that? This has got to be some kind of mistake.
It's not a mistake at all. And since we have this proof, you can bet that we're going to be sending it to your husband as well.
Wait, no, hold on. You can't do that. I mean, don't you know what's going to happen to me if you do?
That is entirely up to your husband. But I'm sure he'll think of something good for you.
Carl, are you there? You better pick up the phone right now. Did you really go and tell my husband about what you told me about? Because he told me he's already calling a lawyer to divorce me right now.
Oh, so I take it by that he's already back home then?
What do you mean about that, huh?
You mean you didn't hear? He ended his business trip early just to come and deal with all that has been going on in his absence. He even stopped by the hospital to see Kathy and make sure that she was doing okay. Last thing he said before leaving that he's going back home, though.
But then, that means he'd be coming home to divorce me, but I don't even have a job. He can't do this to me.
Actually, that reminds me. There is one more thing I want to ask you about.
What is it this time?
Well, it's just about Kathy. You see, she tells us that her husband left you a substantial amount of money that was meant to be spent on Kathy while she was there. It was to pay for things like food, utilities, even some hospital fees. But he gave that money directly to you, didn't he?
What do you mean? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, please. Kathy already told us about how you went on a huge shopping spree for yourself as soon as your husband was gone.
But, I mean, it was just a few things that I bought.
So then you admit that you used the money on yourself.
I mean, I don't want to answer any more of your questions.
It's fine. I'll tell your husband all about this as well, and he can deal with it.
No, please, you can't do this to me. I mean, please. Don't you think we have so much more to gain by working together rather than in opposition?
And just what do you mean by that?
I mean that if you help me out here, I can help you out in whatever way you need me to.
Yeah, that's gonna be a huge pass from me.
What is that supposed to mean?
It means I literally almost lost my lunch just reading that message. But I'll be sure to tell your husband all about what you just said to me as well. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go and throw up. You know, in all the time that Susan and I have together, I still have never ever understood what it is that her dad saw in Hillary. It isn't like he's a cruel or stupid man or anything like that. In fact, when he got back from his business trip, he came to apologize to my mom and I for all the trouble Hillary had caused us. We told her that we were just happy to be able to be there for Kathy. It did take long after that for Hillary and him to officially get divorced. Of course, things didn't end for Hillary there. She was also made to pay a huge alimony settlement. But Hillary had barely worked a day in her life, and when she was divorced, she barely had a penny to her name. In order to keep up with her expenses, she had to take out huge loans and fell into debt. Now, she lives in a tiny apartment working multiple jobs to try and fix her finances. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
Hey babe, I'm gonna go out drinking with my coworkers tonight, so don't wait up for me.
What? Why?
What do you mean, why? They invited me out to drink, so I'm gonna go drink. Simple as that.
That's not what I'm talking about. We had an agreement. We were going to sit down tonight to talk face to face about our plans for the future, Roy.
Did you not hear me? I said they invited me. Do you expect me to turn them down?
Yes.
Tell me, Michelle, who's the one providing you with the lifestyle you have right now?
What? I have no idea what you mean.
Okay, you're having trouble, so let me ask you another way. Whose name is on the lease for the lovely apartment you're living in?
Yours? But what's your point? We split both the rent and living expenses 50-50.
But it's my apartment. I am the one, out of the kindness of my heart, allowing you to live here.
Allowing is an odd way to speak to your live-in girlfriend.
Think about your position. Your parents are both dead. You have no siblings. In other words, if I ever got tired of having you around, you'd have nowhere else to go. You might want to think about that a bit before you start giving me any crap about anything.
What are you trying to say, Roy?
Oh, come on, Michelle. You're not that dumb. You know fully well exactly what I'm saying to you.
All right, then. I guess I'll go ahead and ask what I was going to ask you to your face tonight, right now.
What do you want?
We've been seeing each other for 10 years now, Roy. When are you going to start thinking about marriage?
Huh?
Plus, we've been living together for 3 of those years. I mean, you and I are both turning 30 next year.
Wait, do you want to marry me?
Again, we've been dating for 10 whole years. Our relationship is pretty stable, and we've managed to come this far, just kind of like going with the flow or something. But I think I've waited long enough. I want to hear it directly from you. What do you want from our relationship?
What are you getting so anxious about? I don't see any reason to rush into anything.
You might feel that way, but I don't. It's clear that we have very different views on marriage and family, and I think we should sit down and flesh those differences out face to face.
Yeah, how about in 10 years after I've had my fun?
Roy?
Hey, it's not like I don't want to get married or anything. It's just that, there's a lot of stuff that a guy can only do when he's single. And it's the same in the reverse. There's some stuff that you can only do once you're married. Once we're married, then I'll start thinking about having kids, raising kids, planning for the future, all that stuff. I can't get married yet. There's still so much single guy stuff that I want to do. If I got married now, it would ruin my whole life.
Okay, And you say you need 10 years to do all that single guy stuff?
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you understand, babe.
Right. You'll want to get married 10 years from now. Got it.
I'm glad you came to see my way of thinking, Michelle. I'm glad we took the time to sort things out. This really was a great idea. And trust me, I totally get your position. I'm the only one you have. It makes sense you'd want to know how long you have to wait for me. So you just be a good little girl and hang in there. I'll let you know once I'm ready to settle down.
I'm not finished, Roy.
You're not?
When I said got it, I didn't mean, okay, we'll do it your way. I only meant that I understood your position. If I wait 10 years for you, I'm going to be 40 years old.
Yeah, so what?
I want to have a family, Roy.
Okay, so you want kids? I still don't see what your point is. If you want kids, you can have them when you're 40.
Sure, it's possible to have kids at that age, but that's not what I'm talking about.
Well, whatever it is that you're trying to say, it doesn't change the fact that I'm not getting married yet. I've made my decision. I need 10 more years to enjoy life before I lock myself down, and that's final.
So there's no changing your mind then?
Nope. You should be thanking me that I'm only making you wait 10 years. Keep giving me crap and I might make it 20.
I've got an idea. How about you just enjoy your life until the very end?
Huh?
I can't wait that long.
Michelle?
You've made your position clear. You don't see any value at all in marriage and family, but I'm not like you. And if this is how you're going to react to me pouring out my soul to you by completely shutting me out, then I'm not going to wait one more second for you. I'm leaving today.
Whoa, settle down, girl. Is it that time of the month or something?
Goodbye.
Goodbye? As if you had anywhere to go. Whatever, I'll give you some time to cool off. I'm a patient guy, unlike some people I know, so I'll be waiting for when you come running back to me.
Hey there, Morgan. I hate to drop this on you so suddenly, but would it be okay for me to stay the night at your place? I've got quite a bit of luggage with me, so I'm gonna head over there in my car, if that's okay. Uh-oh, Michelle, what's going on? You're more than welcome to spend the night, and I have one extra parking space that you can use. Are you okay, though? I just broke up with Roy. You what? What on earth happened between you two? I'll give you the details later, but here's the rundown. We've been dating for 10 years, living together for 3, and we'll be turning 30 soon. I've tried to talk to him about marriage in the past, but he just kept putting it off and putting it off. I've been wondering how long is he going to keep me waiting? I know, you've talked to me about that before. And I mean, he's had more than enough opportunities before now. You're 100% right. So I told him outright that I wanted him to come home as soon as possible tonight so we can finally have the talk. But then he blew me off to go drinking with his coworkers. Oh no. He does this all the time. So I went ahead and popped the big question to him via text, and when he gave me his answer, well, I made up my mind. To be honest, I had a feeling this is how it was going to turn out, so I've been packing up my stuff little by little for a while. I told him I was leaving, put my boxes in the car, and, well, that was that. You poor thing. Oh, come on over to my place, Michelle. You need a place to relax. I'll talk to my husband about it. You can go ahead and stay here as long as it takes to find yourself a new place. Oh, and if you need some help looking, one of my friends works at a real estate firm, one of the biggest in town. Thanks, Morgan. You're a really great friend.
Yo, Michelle, what gives? It's been 3 years now. Don't you think this has gone on long enough? Were you waiting for me to reach out to you first before you'd come back? Well, congratulations, here I am. You win. So get over whatever weird thing you're going through and get back over here. Seriously, though, where you been staying all this time? Yeah, we could talk about all that later. I know it'll take some time to pack up your stuff, so I'll give you a month to get ready. And if you get here fast enough, I might just even marry you as a reward. But that's a limited time offer. You better act fast. God, you are one stubborn woman. Fine, I'll compromise for you again. You don't need to move over here. I'll move in with you. Don't worry about telling me your address, by the way. I already know. I just so happened to run into a friend of yours at the bar the other day. You're in that new place over on West Blanchfield Street, right? I gotta hand it to you, you have great taste. Everyone I know has been trying to get a place there since they first put it up. And when we got to talking, they said you bought a condo because you were planning on getting married soon. Man, you must really miss me. You went out and bought a condo for me without even talking to me first? God, women are so effing confusing. First you're all like, oh, I'm angry, I'm leaving. And then you're all like, I love you, Roy, please take me back. Make up your mind, would you? I'll get my stuff over there tonight. Make sure my room is clean, okay? All right, we're gonna get married, so I should say make sure our room is clean, right? Anyway, see you later, babe. Yo, Michelle! Your knight in shining armor has arrived. By the way, what's our room number? I gotta input the room number on this crazy security panel thingy here. Man, this place is super high-tech, huh?
Hello, Roy. It's been quite a while, hasn't it?
Huh? Who are you?
I'm Morgan. I'm a friend of your ex-girlfriend, Michelle.
Oh, it's you. Man, that takes me back ages. I ain't seen you in forever. Actually, come to think of it, I think I've only seen you once, right? You stopped by the house one day before heading downtown with Michelle, and then I've never seen you since.
Yep, that's right.
Oh, and just a slight correction, Michelle isn't my ex-girlfriend, she's my fiancée. Ha! Who am I kidding at this point? You can just go ahead and call her my wife.
You're standing in the security station in front of her building, aren't you?
Ding, 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 we have a winner. We're gonna live here together from now on, so you can feel free to stop by and hang out anytime you want.
Leave. Immediately.
Huh?
You've been trying to get back together with Michelle lately, haven't you? But good grief, I never expected you to try and force your way into her house.
Her house? Are you not paying attention to something? We're getting married, so it's our house.
Michelle got married to my brother, you moron.
What?
Do you have any idea what you've been doing to her the last month? She's been talking to me about how her ex-boyfriend is sending her creepy, delusional texts. She has more than enough on her mind already with being pregnant and everything.
Whoa, being what?
She doesn't need you adding any more stress into her life, so I'm here giving you a message for her so she doesn't have to deal with you.
Back up, Morgan. Michelle is pregnant?
Yes, she's currently pregnant with my brother's child.
That's impossible.
And another thing, that condo belongs to Michelle and my brother.
But...
He bought it to provide a stable and safe environment for Michelle and their child. Neither of them want anything to do with you.
No way. You're full of it. I heard Michelle's friend saying she bought it so she could live there with me.
You're referring to Nancy, right?
Let me think. Yeah, I think that was her name.
She told me that she ran into a weird guy at the bar who kept asking question after question about Michelle. She was super creeped out. Apparently, she let her guard down and told you about her new condo, for which she apologized profusely. But for the record, what she told you is that Michelle is married and her husband bought a condo for them to live in.
Wait.
I guess you had so much to drink at that point that you completely overwrote what she said with your drunken delusions of still having a chance at love.
I can't believe this. I waited 3 whole years for Michelle to come back to me, and this is what I get?
She told you she was breaking up with you. If you were waiting for her, you were wasting your time.
Oh, come on. She was just PMSing on me when she said that.
No, she broke up with you because you were the biggest letdown of her life. And I won't let you pretend that you were faithfully waiting for your prodigal girlfriend to come home. If you were really waiting for her, then why have you been dating a different woman up until recently? And not just any woman, a married woman. Married to your boss, may I add.
What? How did you know that?
Once I heard that you were sniffing around for information on Michelle, I started doing some digging into you myself. Your boss found out about your affair and sued you. You're now underemployed, penniless, and alone. And now you're trying to get back with Michelle to have her bail you out of the hole you dug for yourself.
Hey, come on, I really am in it deep over here. I ran out of money to pay the rent, so they evicted me a few days ago. I got nowhere to go.
Not my problem, or Michelle's problem.
Can you give Michelle a message for me?
No! Now get lost, you pathetic loser! As you've just seen, my best friend Morgan was so concerned about my mental and physical health that she volunteered to get rid of my creepy ex-boyfriend for me. She managed to get some pretty detailed information on his recent trouble, too. While he wasn't fired after it got found out that he had slept with his boss's wife, it was so humiliating for him to be around the office that he resigned voluntarily. His family was already disgusted with him due to how he strung me along for 10 years, only to drive me away. But this was the straw that broke the camel's back. They completely cut him out of their lives and never wanted to speak with him again. With nowhere else to go, he remembered me, the only good thing he'd ever had in his life, and thought he would try to get back together with me. That didn't work out too well for him. Now, with literally nowhere to go, he ended up camping out in local parks for a while. One particularly hot day, he was found beneath a park bench, passed out from heat exhaustion, and taken to the hospital. At this point, I'm not sure if he lost his cell phone, it got stolen, or maybe he just stopped paying his monthly bill. But he never contacted any of his acquaintances ever again after that. I think he's alive, but I don't know for sure, and to be brutally honest, I don't really care either.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.